Welcome to my channel Old Valuable Chillar. Did you know some 1-cent coins from the United States are worth thousands or even millions today? The 1943 bronze Lincoln cent tops the list, selling for over $1 million. Next, the rare 1944 steel penny, valued up to $200,000. Then comes the 1909 South VDB Lincoln Center, easily worth over $1,000 in top condition. The 1955 double die penny follows, famous for its bold doubling, fetching up to $20,000. And first up, let's start with its background. The 1944 penny was struck during World War II. In 1943, due to the wartime shortage of copper, the US Mint made pennies from zinc-coated steel. But the public didn't like them. They looked silver and rusted easily. So in 1944, the Mint switched back to copper using recycled shell casings from military ammunition. That's why the 1944 penny is also known as the shell case cent. Most 1944 pennies were made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. They have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat ears on the back, a design by Victor David Brenner that was used from 1909 to 1958. Now let's talk about mint marks and production. There were 3 main mints that made the 1944 1-cent coin: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the D mint mark, and San Francisco with the S mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint produced the most, around 1.4 billion coins. Denver made about 430 million, and San Francisco struck around 282 million. Since so many were produced, most 1944 pennies are common and worth just a few cents in circulated condition. But here's where it gets interesting. A few rare mint errors and special varieties can turn this ordinary copper coin into a fortune. The most famous is the 1944 steel penny. During the changeover from steel to copper, a small number of leftover 1943 steel planchets were accidentally struck in 1944. These rare 1944 steel cents look silver instead of copper. Only a few dozen are known to exist. If you find one, it could be worth anywhere from $75,000 to over $200,000 depending on condition. Another key variety is the 1944 D over S mint mark error, where a Denver D was stamped over San Francisco S. This happened because mint dies were sometimes reused, creating overlapping marks. This error is rare and valuable. High-grade examples can bring several $1,000s. There's also the 1944 copper wheat penny, which is common, but if you have one in pristine condition with bright red luster, it can still be worth real money. A 1944 D or S penny graded MS67 red can sell for over $1,000 at auction. The Philadelphia coin in MS68 red has reached prices near $5,000 or more. Collectors look for key details: sharp wheat stalks, clear date and mint mark, and strong luster. Coins with no wear and no spots are the most desirable. Always check both sides under good lighting. A simple coin magnifier can help you spot mint errors, double dies, or small defects that may raise the value. Many beginners ask, how can you tell if your 1944 penny is the rare steel version? An easy trick: use a magnet. The normal 1944 copper penny is not magnetic, but the steel one will stick to a magnet. Also, the color is different. Steel coins are grayish, while copper coins have a reddish-brown tone. Now, another rare variation is the 1944 S steel penny, even scarcer than the Philadelphia or Denver ones. Only a couple of these are known. In top condition, they've sold for over $400,000 at major auctions. That's life-changing money for a single 1-cent coin. There are also off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and double-die obverse errors from 1944 that collectors love. Depending on how visible the error is, even these can be worth from $100 to $10,000. When studying your 1944 penny, pay close attention to the rim, lettering, and Lincoln's portrait. Tiny die cracks or doubling around Liberty or In God We Trust can make a huge difference in price. Even circulated 1944 wheat pennies are collectible because of their age and history. They make great starter coins for beginners. And if you find a shiny red-brown piece with full wheat lines, it's worth setting aside. For coin enthusiasts, the 1944 penny tells a story of wartime America, metal shortages, and a quick adaptation by the US Mint. It's one of the most iconic coins of the 20th century and still appears in pocket change occasionally, though most have been pulled out by collectors. Now let's talk about how these coins are preserved. Proper storage is key. Always keep your old copper coins in a cool, dry place away from moisture. Use coin flips, capsules, or holders made of acid-free materials. Avoid touching them with bare hands. The oils on your skin can damage the surface over time. If you ever come across a 1944 penny in a roll of old coins or a jar of change, take a moment to check its details. Many valuable ones have been discovered this way by ordinary people. Some rare pennies found in circulation have even been sold at major coin auctions. It's fascinating how a small 1-cent piece from 1944 can carry so much value and history. Whether it's a common copper cent worth a few cents or a rare steel penny worth hundreds of thousands, every coin has a story to tell. Collectors love the 1944 series because it bridges the gap between the steel wartime coins and the post-war copper issues. It represents resilience, history, and American craftsmanship. If you're new to collecting, start by learning about mint marks, weights, and basic identification. A regular 1944 copper penny weighs around 3.11 grams, while the steel version weighs about 2.7 grams. That difference can help you spot fakes or valuable varieties. Some fake 1944 steel pennies are made by coating regular copper coins with silver or chrome, but those won't attract a magnet, so the magnet test is still the best first step. When it comes to demand, collectors are especially interested in high-grade red examples with original mint luster. The PCGS and NGC population reports show that very few MS67 or MS68 red examples exist. That's why these coins bring strong prices at auctions. Next up, the 1945 1-cent coin from the United States is one of the most fascinating pieces in American numismatic history. Known to collectors as the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny, this coin carries not only monetary value but also deep historical significance. Struck during the final year of World War II, every 1945 penny tells a story of America's wartime resilience and economic transition. In this video, we'll explore everything about the 1945 1-cent coin, its design, composition, mint marks, varieties, errors, and the incredible values it can reach in the coin market today. The 1945 1-cent coin belongs to the famous Lincoln wheat penny series, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. The obverse, or front side, of the 1945 penny features the right-facing portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the phrase "In God We Trust," to the left is the word "Liberty," and to the right is the date 1945, which often includes a small mint mark indicating where the coin was struck. The reverse side displays two wheat stalks along the edges, surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto E pluribus unum. This design gives the coin its popular nickname, the wheat penny. The 1945 1-cent coin was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from the Philadelphia mint carry no mint mark, while those from Denver have a small D below the date, and those from San Francisco display an S. In total, over 1 billion 1945 pennies were minted, around 1 billion from Philadelphia, over 266 million from Denver, and more than 181 million from San Francisco. Despite this massive production, not all 1945 pennies are equal in value. Condition, rarity, and mint errors can make some examples worth far more than face value. These coins were made of bronze, a mix of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. During the early 1940s, copper was a strategic metal used in wartime industries, which led to the famous 1943 steel cent. But by 1945, the US Mint had returned to bronze composition. This makes the 1945 penny part of the post-war transition back to normal coinage materials. Because of its age, most 1945 pennies you find in circulation today will appear dark brown or reddish brown due to oxidation of the copper. Now let's talk about the value of the 1945 1-cent coin. In circulated condition, the typical 1945 penny is worth between 1 and 5 cents. However, if your coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value increases dramatically. A 1945 penny with a sharp strike, full luster, and nowhere can be worth from $1 to over $20 depending on the mint mark and grade. Certified coins graded MS65 red by professional grading companies can bring even higher premiums, sometimes over $50 or more. Collectors especially love red examples, which retain their original copper color and shine. The 1945 D penny from the Denver Mint is usually the most common, while the 1945 S penny from San Francisco is slightly scarcer, especially in high grades. The Philadelphia issue is the most abundant overall. But what really excites collectors are the rare varieties and minting errors that occurred in 1945. For example, there are 1945 pennies with doubled dies, where the design elements appear doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. Doubling can be seen on the date, the lettering, or Lincoln's eye. These double die varieties can be worth hundreds of dollars or more, depending on the clarity of the doubling and condition of the coin. Another valuable variety is the 1945 penny struck on a steel planchette by mistake, a rare leftover from 1943 steel cent production. If you find a 1945 penny that sticks to a magnet, it could be an extremely rare transitional error worth thousands of dollars. Other errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and repunched mint marks, all of which can increase a coin's desirability and value among collectors. Collectors love 1945 pennies not just for their numismatic appeal, but also for their connection to American history. Think about it. In 1945, World War II was ending, soldiers were returning home, and the economy was shifting toward post-war prosperity. The pennies minted that year circulated through a nation full of change and hope. Every 1945 1-cent coin is a small metal witness to that pivotal moment in time. It's more than just copper. It's history in your hand. When collecting 1945 Lincoln wheat pennies, condition matters most. Grading ranges from poor, good, fine, and very fine, up to extremely fine and mint state. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Collectors often look for red examples, meaning coins that have not toned or darkened over time. Red-brown coins have partial color remaining, while brown coins are fully darkened. Even a difference in luster can make one coin worth 5 times more than another. If you happen to find a 1945 penny in your pocket change, look closely at the details. Check for a mint mark below the date, examine Lincoln's face for doubling, and inspect the edges for any unusual shapes. Under magnification, even small differences can indicate rare varieties. Many collectors have found valuable 1945 pennies by simply paying attention to the details others overlook. It's always worth checking your coins before spending them. Auction records for 1945 pennies in perfect condition are impressive. Some 1945 S pennies graded MS67 red have sold for several $1,000s. The 1945 D in similar condition has also fetched high prices at major auctions. The 1945 penny from Philadelphia, despite being common, can still command strong prices in pristine red condition because collectors love completing sets of all years and mints. The 1945 1-cent coin is also a great starting point for new collectors. It's affordable, widely available, and rich in history. Building a collection of wheat pennies from 1909 to 1958 allows collectors to trace the evolution of U.S. coinage through 2 world wars and the Great Depression. The 1945 issue marks the end of an era and the beginning of post-war America. For long-term collectors, storing 1945 pennies properly is crucial to preserve their color and value. Always keep them in acid-free holders or plastic flips, and avoid touching the surface with bare fingers. Oils from your skin can damage the copper over time. If you want to showcase your coins, use a display case that protects them from air and moisture. Even minor scratches or fingerprints can affect their grading. The coin market for wheat pennies remains strong because of their popularity and nostalgic charm. Millions of Americans grew up seeing these coins in circulation before the Lincoln Memorial Reverse replaced them in 1959. The Wheat Penny series, including the 1945 issue, continues to be one of the most collected coin series in U.S. history. So, if you own a 1945 penny, take a closer look. You might have something worth far more than a cent. Whether you're searching through old jars, inherited collections, or pocket change, that little coin could connect you to an incredible story of America's past. Remember to check for mint marks, look for rare errors, and preserve your finds properly. The 1945 1-cent coin represents history, craftsmanship, and the enduring fascination of coin collecting. It's a symbol of resilience, made from the same copper that helped power an industrial nation through war and recovery. Next up, the 1951 South 1-center coin from the United States is one of the fascinating Lincoln wheat pennies that continues to attract collectors and coin enthusiasts all around the world. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, the 1951 S penny holds historical, numismatic, and collectible value that has only grown over the decades. This coin features the classic wheat reverse design, a symbol of American heritage and the craftsmanship of U.S. coinage during the mid-20th century. The obverse side of the 1951 S penny showcases the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, the same design that first appeared in 1909. Above Lincoln's head are the words "In God We Trust," to the left is the word "Liberty," and to the right is the date 1951 with a small S mint mark below it, indicating it was minted in San Francisco. The reverse side of this coin displays two wheat ears on both sides with the words 1 cent and United States of America in the center. At the top, it reads E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. The 1951 penny was struck primarily in bronze, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gives the coin its distinct reddish-brown tone when preserved properly. Over time, oxidation may cause the coin to appear darker or develop a patina, which many collectors find attractive. The total mintage of the 1951 South 1 center coin was approximately 136 million pieces, making it relatively common compared to some other wheat pennies. However, high-grade examples, especially those with original mint luster, are much scarcer and valuable. Collectors often seek out the 1951 penny in mint state condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher. A coin with full red color and no marks or wear can command a premium price in the collector's market. Red-brown or brown examples are still collectible but usually trade at lower prices. The overall value of the 1951 penny depends on several factors such as condition, color, mint state, and whether it has any errors or varieties. There are several known varieties and mint errors for the 1951 penny that make some examples extremely valuable. Some of the most notable ones include double die obverses, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and die cracks. A double die obverse may show doubling in the inscription such as Liberty or the date 1951. The repunched mint mark varieties, commonly known as RPMs, occur when the mint mark S was punched more than once in slightly different positions. These small details can make a huge difference in value. For instance, a 1951 penny with a strong repunched mint mark can be worth several times more than a regular strike. Collectors always look for such details under magnification to identify whether their coin has a rare variety. Off-center strikes and die breaks can also add unique character and value, as they make the coin a one-of-a-kind piece. In circulated condition, most 1951 pennies are worth a few cents to $1 depending on their wear and appearance. However, in uncirculated grades, particularly those certified as MS66 or higher with full red color, the coin's value can range from $20 to over $100 or more. Exceptional examples with perfect color, strike, and luster can even sell for several $100s in coin auctions. A record auction for 1951 penny in superb mint condition has reached impressive figures among collectors. In some cases, coins with unique mint errors or pristine condition have sold for prices well above their expected value. It's this potential for hidden treasure that excites collectors and drives interest in older US coins like the 1951 wheat penny. When examining a 1951 penny, it's important to look for original color and sharp details on Lincoln's face and hair, as well as clear wheat lines on the reverse. These are indicators of a strong strike and minimal wear, both of which contribute to higher value. Coins stored properly in a dry, airtight holder maintain their condition and color much longer, preserving their collectible worth. The historical background of the 1951 penny adds another layer of significance. It was minted during the post-World War II era when the US economy was expanding rapidly. Coins from this period reflect America's industrial growth and stability, and the Lincoln cent continued to symbolize honesty, perseverance, and national unity. For collectors, owning a 1951 penny is not just about its monetary value but also about holding a piece of American history. Each penny from this era carries a story of the mint workers who struck it, the people who used it in everyday life, and the journey it has taken over the decades. From pocket change to collector's showcase, these coins connect generations of Americans through their shared heritage. If you're curious whether your 1951 penny is valuable, start by inspecting its color, condition, and mint mark. Look for any signs of doubling or repunching under magnification. Even a small detail like a clear S-mint mark with extra impressions can make your coin more valuable. You can compare it with verified examples online or in coin reference guides to get a better idea of what you might have. Red examples in high mint state grades remain the most desirable among collectors. Those that have been well preserved with full luster can attract strong demand in the numismatic market. While the 1951 South penny may seem common, the challenge lies in finding one in perfect condition. That rarity factor is what makes collecting these coins so engaging and rewarding. When it comes to long-term investment, vintage Lincoln wheat pennies like the 1951s are a solid choice for coin enthusiasts. They offer historical appeal, stability, and potential value growth, especially for high-grade certified coins. Over time, as more of these coins disappear from circulation and are lost or damaged, the surviving examples in top condition will become even more sought after. Next up, the world of the 1952 D 1-cent coin from the United States, also known as the 1952 Denver Mint Lincoln Wheat Penny. This video is your complete guide to understanding everything about this historical and collectible coin, its background, design, history, composition, errors, varieties, and its potential value in today's market. Whether you're a coin collector, an investor, or just curious about old American pennies, stay tuned till the end as we explore all the details that make the 1952 D 1-cent coin so special and potentially valuable. The 1952 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the major U.S. mints that produced billions of Lincoln cents during the mid-20th century. The letter D under the date represents Denver. In total, more than 746 million 1952 D 1-cent coins were minted, which makes it a common issue at first glance. However, as many collectors know, not all 1952 D pennies are the same. Some are ordinary circulated coins worth a cent or two, but others, due to condition, rarity, and mint errors, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. The obverse of the 1952 D penny features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, who introduced this design in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Around Lincoln's bust, you'll find the words "In God We Trust" along the top, "Liberty" on the left side, and the date 1952 with the D mint mark just below it. The reverse of the coin displays two wheat stalks along the edges, surrounding the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with the phrase E pluribus unum at the top. That's why this type of penny is known as the Lincoln Wheat Cent or Wheat Penny, a design that was used until 1958. The composition of the 1952 D 1-cent coin is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, with a weight of 3.11 grams and a diameter of 90 millimeters. Its reddish-brown shine when uncirculated is highly attractive to collectors, especially in mint state grades like MS65, MS66, or higher. Coins that have maintained their original luster, sharp details, and minimal marks can sell for premium prices. Now, let's talk about value, which is what most people are eager to know. In circulated condition, a 1952 D 1-cent coin is generally worth between 3 and 10 cents depending on its wear and color. However, if you have an uncirculated example, especially one with a bright red luster graded MS65 or better, it can be worth several dollars. Some high-grade examples certified by major grading companies have sold for over $100 or more. In the highest grades, such as MS67 red, these coins have reached auction prices exceeding $1,000. The reason? Color, condition, and scarcity in those top grades make them highly desirable among collectors of Lincoln Wheat Cents. But there's more to the story than just grade and color. The 1952 D penny also has some fascinating mint error varieties that can dramatically increase its value. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. One of the most popular varieties is the 1952 D repunched mint mark, where the D mint mark was punched more than once into the die, creating a noticeable doubling effect under magnification. Such varieties are not always easy to spot, but they can be worth several dollars or even much more depending on the strength of the doubling and the condition of the coin. Other possible errors include die cracks, clipped planchets, or lamination errors, which all add uniqueness to a particular specimen. Some 1952 D pennies have die chips around the letters or Lincoln's bow tie, which are small raised bumps that many collectors enjoy finding. Each of these small imperfections adds character and often boosts collector interest. If you have a 1952 D penny at home, it's important to handle it carefully. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can remove the natural patina and reduce its value significantly. To identify if your coin might be valuable, start by examining its color. Red coins are usually worth more than red-brown or brown examples. Next, check for sharp details in Lincoln's hair, the wheat stalks, and the lettering. Any coin that appears crisp, lustrous, and free of scratches might deserve a closer inspection and could be worth grading professionally. Many collectors like to complete full sets of Lincoln wheat pennies from 1909 to 1958, and the 1952 D issue is an essential part of that set. Even though it's not the rarest date, finding one in pristine condition with a strong strike and original mint luster can be challenging. That's what keeps the demand steady for this coin. In particular, those collecting by mint marks need both the Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S versions of the 1952 cent to complete their year set. Now, let's dive deeper into the market aspect of the 1952 D 1-cent coin. Coin values fluctuate depending on demand and economic conditions, but copper-based coins like the 1952D have intrinsic metal value as well. With the price of copper increasing over the years, even circulated coins can hold a small premium above face value. However, the real value lies in collector demand for condition rarity and eye appeal. Red uncirculated coins with minimal marks often catch the eyes of both casual collectors and serious investors. When it comes to collecting, coin grading plays a huge role. The most recognized grading scale used for the 1952D penny is the Sheldon scale, ranging from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. Coins in grades below XF, extremely fine, are generally valued for their historical interest more than their financial worth. But once you get into the AU, about uncirculated, or MS, mint state, range, the price increases dramatically. For example, an MS65 red 1952D penny can be worth around $20 to $40, while MS67 examples can reach hundreds or even more depending on the market. Collectors often wonder how to identify genuine mint errors versus damage caused after minting. True mint errors occur during the production process, like doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or die cracks. Damage, on the other hand, comes from circulation, bending, scratches, or chemical cleaning. A magnifying glass or microscope can help detect genuine mint varieties and separate them from ordinary wear. It's also fascinating to consider the historical context of 1952. This was the post-World War II era, a time when the US economy was growing and coins were produced in large quantities to support national commerce. Many people used these wheat pennies daily without realizing they were handling small pieces of American history that would one day become collectible artifacts. The 1952D penny represents that connection to mid-century America, making it a nostalgic and symbolic piece for collectors today. If you ever come across rolls of old wheat pennies, check them carefully. Hidden gems like high-grade 1952D coins or error varieties can sometimes be found among them. People who collect these coins often enjoy the thrill of treasure hunting, searching through old jars or inherited coin collections for rare varieties. To summarize the essentials, the 1952D 1-cent coin from the United States is a copper Lincoln wheat penny minted in Denver. It has historical significance, collectible value, and several varieties worth looking for. Now we will explore the 1953D 1-cent coin from the United States, also known as the 1953 Denver Mint Lincoln wheat penny, is one of the most fascinating coins from the mid-20th century. Collectors around the world continue to search for rare varieties, errors, and high-grade examples of this coin, hoping to find one worth far more than a single cent. Today, we're going to talk in detail about everything related to the 1953D Lincoln cent, its history, composition, design, mintage, possible errors, and how much it can be worth today. So, if you've ever wondered whether that old 1953D penny in your collection or pocket could be valuable, this video will tell you everything you need to know. The 1953D penny was struck at the Denver Mint and features the famous Lincoln wheat design, which was created by Victor David Brenner. The obverse side shows the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty on the left and the date 1953 along with the small d mint mark just below it. Above Lincoln's head, the words "In God We Trust" are clearly visible, which has been a long-standing motto on American coins. The reverse side of the coin features two wheat stalks along the edges, symbolizing prosperity, with 1 cent and United States of America in the center, and the words E pluribus unum across the top. This coin was made mostly of copper, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which gives it that classic reddish-brown color collectors love. Because copper tarnishes and changes color over time, the condition of your 1953D penny matters a lot when determining its value. Bright red examples are more desirable, while brown or heavily circulated ones usually carry less value. Now, let's talk about the mintage. In 1953, the Denver Mint produced more than 700 million of these coins, specifically around 700,515,000 pieces. That's a huge number, which makes the 1953D penny quite common in circulated grades. However, not all coins were struck perfectly, and that's where rare varieties and valuable errors come in. Even a coin that seems ordinary at first glance might be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars if it has an unusual minting mistake or is preserved in exceptionally high condition. Collectors pay close attention to the details. A 1953D penny that has full, sharp wheat lines, strong luster, and minimal scratches can be worth far more than face value. In mint state condition, especially in grades above MS65, these coins can attract serious interest from collectors. For example, A bright red 1953D penny graded MS-67 has sold for hundreds of dollars at major coin auctions. Now let's explore the most valuable varieties and errors known for this coin. Some of the most popular error types include double die obverse, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and die cracks. The double die obverse is one of the most exciting errors because it shows doubling in the date or lettering, such as on Liberty or In God We Trust. If you notice any doubling with a magnifying glass, your coin could be worth significantly more than a normal one. Another error to watch for is the repunched mint mark, often abbreviated as RPM. During this time, mint marks were manually punched into the dies, so slight misalignment sometimes caused a D over D appearance. Collectors often search for these repunched D varieties, which can add great value to an otherwise common penny. Off-center strikes are another category of error that can make a 1953D penny rare and valuable. When a coin is struck slightly off from the center, part of the design may be missing or shifted. The more off-center it is, the rarer it becomes, especially if both the date and mint mark are still visible. Die cracks and die breaks are minor minting imperfections that appear as raised lines or bumps on the coin surface. While not always extremely valuable, they make the coin more interesting to collectors and can add a premium depending on the size and placement of the crack. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1953D penny in different conditions. A worn or circulated example typically sells for only a few cents above face value. However, uncirculated coins, particularly those with a bright red luster, can fetch much higher prices. In average mint state condition, a 1953D penny might sell for anywhere from $1 to $10, depending on its color and overall quality. But in top-graded condition, especially certified examples in MS-67 red, the price can easily go above $300 or even more at auctions. When determining your coin's value, collectors look at color designation: red, red-brown, or brown. Red coins are freshly preserved and command the highest premiums. Red-brown examples are in between, while brown coins are typically the most affordable. It's also important to consider how clean the coin surfaces are. Even small scratches, spots, or discoloration can reduce the value. Coins that have been cleaned often lose collector appeal, so it's best to avoid polishing or scrubbing them. Natural toning is preferred by serious collectors. The 1953D Lincoln Wheat penny marks one of the last few years of the wheat design before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. That gives it nostalgic and historical significance. It's part of a long-running series that started in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Another interesting point is how coin collecting grew during the 1950s. Many Americans began saving wheat pennies, creating what's known as the penny hoard era. Because of that, millions of 1953D coins were preserved in jars, rolls, and collections, which is why they're still found today in decent condition. But truly high-grade examples remain elusive because few people thought to protect their coins immediately after minting. Some 1953D pennies also show unique color variations due to storage conditions. Coins kept in paper rolls or envelopes sometimes developed beautiful rainbow toning. While this isn't an error, unique toning patterns can make a coin visually stunning and more valuable to collectors who appreciate eye appeal. Let's now take a closer look at the historical backdrop of 1953. That year, Dwight D. Eisenhower was president, and the US was entering a period of post-war prosperity. The penny was still made of nearly pure copper, a metal that has since become far too expensive for modern 1-cent coins. Comparing the solid copper 1953D penny to today's zinc cents shows how much coinage has changed over the decades. Even though the 1953D penny was mass-produced, the joy of collecting it lies in searching for that one flawless, uncirculated piece or rare error coin that stands out from the rest. Coin collecting is a mix of history, art, and treasure hunting, and the 1953D Lincoln Wheat penny captures all of that perfectly.